Who is Ghost Rider? Well, to begin the quest to determine who is the Ghost Rider, you must first find out what is a Ghost Rider, because there isn't the Ghost Rider. There are Ghost Riders. There's far more than one, and there can be far more than one at a given time. Ghost Rider isn't a title. It isn't a choice either. It is a position given to someone, and it is not a good thing to be given. The Ghost Rider could be considered a curse, and there are several ways to become a Ghost Rider. You can make a deal with the devil, with a demon, or with an angel even. But in some way, you lose your soul. Your soul belongs to something or someone else, and they get to choose what you do. But at the same time, they don't, because what happens is the Ghost Rider is consumed by whatever it is that their chosen demon, angel, or anything is given, whether that's justice, or most commonly, it is vengeance. There hasn't been many justice Ghost Riders shown, but they have happened, and those will be discussed at different times. But right now we're going to discuss the more common Ghost Rider, and that is the Ghost Rider of Vengeance. Now, the Ghost Rider of Vengeance can come from different places, such as Robbie Reyes, who gained his spirit of vengeance from Elias Moro, who is a Satanist, and he was a murderer, and he sought out to get revenge on those who wronged him in his life. That's where Robbie Reyes gets his. But then you have Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch. Well, Danny Ketch is much more complicated, and I'll get into him in his own episode, but let's start with Johnny Blaze, who's can be discussed in this overall what makes a Ghost Rider. So, Johnny Blaze made a deal with the devil. In so doing, he opened himself up to the being known as Zarathos. The being known as Zarathos is consumed with vengeance in any kind of way, but somehow the host can change how that is. There's another Ghost Rider who isn't technically a Ghost Rider. Well, he is, but he didn't become one till later, and he's called Vengeance. He murders. He destroys. He will burn anything and destroy anything in his path. Whereas Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch, they like to use the Penance Stare. They're much more calm, much more relaxed, but they still do something. And the Penance Stare is said to be worse than death. Now, what the Penance Stare does is the Penance Stare makes anybody who stares into it, they feel and experience all the sins that they've ever done. Not only do they feel that, but if they murdered someone, they will feel the pain of being murdered. They will feel the stabbing if they stabbed them. They will feel gunshots if they shot them. And they will also feel the torment, the misery, and the torture of all the loved ones of that person and their loss, and the horrible, horrible feelings that comes from this terrible, terrible thing that they did. And depending on how this person can handle that, will determine whether they live through the Penance Stare, or they die, or maybe they'll even kill themselves. The Penance Stare is very, very scary, and it's something that nobody would want to be faced with. You will feel every sin that you've ever done straight on you, all the guilt, all the regret, and oh man, it's intense. Ghost Rider does not mess around. Ghost Riders also possess the power to have some form of weapon, whether that weapon is the chain, the unbreakable chain of Danny Ketch, or even Johnny Blaze used to just grab things and smack people around with them. It's always been different. It's never just been the chain, unlike what's usually presented in films or in the show even. Although the show has been, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been doing it quite interesting and very good job. So that's what makes a Ghost Rider. A Ghost Rider is not just bare bones. It's not something, puns. Anyways, Ghost Rider is a lot of different things, and the fire around the Ghost Rider is Hellfire, which can burn straight to the soul, and it will burn anybody not pure of heart. And technically, nobody's pure of heart, and even Doctor Strange has stated this during the part when Ghost Rider shows up during World War Hulk. Ghost Rider is genuinely a force to be reckoned with, and it's not one that you want to mess with. So that's really it for episode 1, just a brief overview of what is a ghostwriter. From here on, we'll start going into storylines, where the ghostwriter began, and we won't be starting with Shawnee Blaze. We'll be going back to the original ghostwriter. So stick around, and there's more yet to come.